Hey free-to-play gang, welcome back to another video. So we have finally gotten our 7th copy of Donar here. So I actually got many copies of him before he became a Ripple Esper, right? Or rather before you're able to buy him directly from the tournament shop, which is definitely a much easier way for you to get him at R6, but it's kind of unfortunate that I got many copies of him in the past. Oh, and to add, he was even the Spatial Tower 100 clear reward back in beta, so it's really unfortunate. But the thing is, at least for today, we are able to test out an R6 Donar and see whether is he really worth pushing for R6, because that's gonna consume a lot of your tournament currency, right? I forgot what's the name of the currency, but you need a lot of it. So 5 Donar ripples cost you 1,000, which means that for 50 Donar ripples, that would cost you 10,000. And of course, a lot of patience by farming it every single week for I do not know how many weeks. So as always, let's start off with his abilities, followed by his relics, and then finally the growth part of his kit. So starting with the first skill, this is Upward Lightning. Attacks one single enemy, deals 30% of his attack and 70% of his defense. So he does scale according to defense, with a 60% chance of inflicting attack down, which goes up to 75%. Now next is Thundercrack passive, right? Gains Conductor for 1 turn at the end of Donar's turn. Now while Conductor is active, attacks all enemies at the start of his next turn, and damage is equal to 110% of his defense. Now if any ability triggers a critical hit, ability cooldown for this skill, right, this passive skill would then be reduced by 1 turn, and it has a cooldown of 3 turns. So this is the Conductor buff, gains 1 Thunder Blessing stack upon receiving any form of damage, removes the status upon being controlled. So if he gets stunned, that is his main weakness. Now this is Thunder Blessing as well, so plus 20% defense upon receiving damage with a maximum of 5 stacks. So when max stacks is reached, you then gain a turn. This is I think his R2 effect. And then Explosions in the Sky, attacks one enemy, deals 80% attack plus 140% of defense, which is pretty big. Gains defense up and immunity for 2 turns at the same time, which is super key because like you see in his passive here, right, he actually loses Conductor's state if he gets stunned. So the immunity on his third skill is actually very important. And this is his R6 effect, which is resets the cooldown on Thundercrack and gains 2 Thunder Blessing stacks immediately, which is this Thunder Blessing over here, right? So it instantly has an extra 40% defense. So it's actually pretty good, but I do have an issue with this skill. So the thing is, in most cases, you are going to start off with your Explosions in the Sky, which, you know, gives you the defense up and the immunity and all that. But the problem with this is that there is a waste of the resetting of the cooldown of Thundercrack. And the reason why I say this is a waste is because this passive actually triggers at the end of his turn. So you are going to use this skill first, while this skill is not even on cooldown, just to reset its cooldown again, which doesn't make a lot of sense in my opinion. But the good news is you do gain 2 Thunder Blessing stacks, which would then give you a turn much sooner, especially when you reach 5 stacks, just going by his R2 effect. And of course, he has a captain ability, which is a universal defense lead by 30%, which is very nice. So very similar to Renzi, right? Universal defense lead with an Esper that actually scales off defense. And here are his temporary relics, okay? So I have to say that these are just temporary. And the reason why I say that this is temporary is that I haven't actually played around with his kit all that much. I'm not sure whether running him with a lot of speed is better than the current setup right now. So this is kind of like a very old school build. So a lot of defense, some HP, and try your best to get 100% crit rate, and the rest goes into crit damage. So in terms of stats, he's not actually a high performer right now, but I think this will do for this current showcase. Now let's move on to his growth. So let's start off with his ascensions. So he starts off with flat defense and flat HP, which is really good. Increased 10% HP, which I don't know why. 15% resist, which is kind of wasteful, especially for PvP. And then 20% defense. So I definitely prefer if he had crit rate and crit damage on his ascension, but it's very unfortunate that he only has HP, resistance, and defense, which the former two are not that good in my opinion. So let's take a look at his resonances, starting with his R1. So final damage of Thundercrack increases by 10%, okay, and this is Thundercrack passive. When Thunder Blessing reaches max stacks, you then gain 1 turn, so this is actually quite important in my opinion, right? So it allows him to cycle his turns a little bit better and allows him to land the AoE damage that he needs to do. And R4 is Shield Slap, so when the target's defense is below Donar's, which is most of the time going to be the case, your damage increases by 15%, which is I guess not bad. And now his R6, new effect, resets the cooldown for Thundercrack and gains 2 Thunder Blessing stacks, just like what we've talked about. Okay, so we're going to start off with the VR Battlegrounds before we move on to some actual Pointwall PvP, just so that we can see whether is he good or not based on his current kit. Okay, oh my god, we got stunned. So just because we got stunned, that's about it, right? We're not going to get our... Oh, never mind. We need to get stunned when this Conductor effect is on us. But okay, now that we have 5 stacks, we do gain a turn. Right, but because we are taunted, we are gonna waste our turn anyway. But we are on Conductor again, dude. Freaking hell. That's pretty impressive. And we're gonna gain a new turn, right? Yeah, we gain a new turn. Oh my god, that's actually not bad. Okay, wait, that's actually pretty interesting. So the thing is, we did not even need to move at all. But we just kept getting our Wow. Okay, we just kept getting our Thunder Crack. Okay, let's try this one more time. I am very curious to see how this performs in the long run. So yeah, we got stunned again, which sucks. Okay, so Donar's main weakness is to get stunned. But I do feel like we need the Avatara on him as well, because we need to be able to land counter attacks. Right, so now we gain a new turn. Nice. And oh, so that works. So the thing is, because he was stunned earlier, I was not able to move, so therefore he actually had his second skill on cooldown. But now that our second skill is on cooldown, we can actually just pop it off with our third skill, like reset the cooldown and go back into our conductor state. Very nice. So the thing is, I do need him on Avatara because whenever he counter attacks, he gets to reduce the cooldown of his passive, which is really good and very important as well, I think. So I might not want to go for immunity relics, but immunity relics might be quite useful as well. Alright, so this is my current Pointwall team, but I'm just going to replace Everett with Donar and let's see whether this works, because I feel like the Gabriel is still going to work really well with him because Gabriel provides the immunity and defense up, which means that he does not need to use his third skill at the start, which is, yeah, I think that does mitigate the R2 effect. The only thing that I hate about this is that, oh my god, now we are fully silenced. Okay, so obviously we need a lot more speed if you want to run him with Gabriel, for example, right? Because in terms of Pointwall, if you do not take the first turn, you are kind of screwed. So in this case where I'm just stunned out like this, I don't think there is any way to get out of it, right? And we're like silenced and all of that. Okay, so I switched things up a little bit so that maybe we can take the first turn, because they do not have a speed lead, so we are probably going to outspeed with the Clara, which gives us 2 turns of immunity, because Clara is R2. I mean, she's at least R2, right? So now that we have the immunity here, I guess we can throw our third skill just for the defense buff. Right? Yeah, that works. So let's go ahead and stun that guy here. But the only one thing that I hate about this team is that I have to run this manually. I hate running manual, right? So we're gonna go ahead and I guess defense break and taunt. Yeah, we do get the taunt. Very nice. Uh-oh, okay, nice. Okay, so you know what? Let's just get rid of the buffs here. And the miss as well. Okay, so now we have our passive up without any of our buffs because we got stripped. So let's go ahead and use our third skill here. Right? Kind of like a waste, but we do still get 2 stacks of the Thunder Blessing. We just need to pray that they hit us, right? Like, just hit us with AoE attacks, which the Gabriel should be able to, right? I think. Nice. There we go. We gain a turn like that. We stole the turn and we practically did nothing with it. We didn't even get our conductor effect up again. So I wonder how auto-friendly this team is gonna be, because if it is auto-friendly, I will be super stoked about it. Conductor again, very nice. Okay, you know what? Let's just run this on auto and see how it works from here on. Yeah, so the thing is, if he's not attacked, then unfortunately he's not going to gain a lot of defense, which means that his Thundercrack is not going to do a lot of damage. But okay, a win is still a win. Let's test this out again and see whether was this just a fluke. Alright, so now assuming that they have a speed lead as well, let's hopefully outspeed them. If we do outspeed them, then we might have an advantage as well. So we're going to run this on auto. Yep, we do get an immunity and we get a defense up as well. But the thing is, right, it doesn't really matter because when his turn comes around, I'm just going to use my third skill because this is on auto. So that's a problem. Alright, it's not really a problem, but it's just a waste of his passive. Yeah, I put a lot of emphasis on the fact that his passive is wasted. And oh my god, we're up against a height, right? So I'm very curious to see how shit we will perform against a height. The height is gonna... You know, the height already uses AoE attack. But okay, we stole the turn. Very nice. And we get our conductor again. Okay, so that's perfect. That's exactly what I needed. Yeah, but in terms of damage output, I guess it's probably my relics, but I don't feel like he's really doing a lot for me right now. Yeah, he's not doing a lot, especially since he needs to be attacked. But that's not the case because the enemy is just attacking everything else but Donar right now. And the reason why that is probably the case is, number one, even if they do attack Donar, Clara is just gonna heal him up so fast, right? Because his HP is so low. So he's not gonna be a prime target in most cases. But I guess he's a decent counter against Gabriel because now Gabriel multi-hits a lot in an AoE attack as well. So that kind of works out for him. But as you can see, we are getting clapped so hard. Nice. Okay, at least we got rid of Ollie and we got back into our conductor state, which is perfect. And now we double nuked it. So I think there's a lot of potential here. We just need to know exactly what we are doing. Probably the team that I'm running right now is not the best for him. Okay, we counter-attacked. So we should have the conductor up. on our next turn, right? I think. Yeah, we do have it. But yeah, we're gonna get clapped. Oh, we do steal the turn. Nice. Wow. Okay, that was... Okay, I mean, we still got clapped anyway, but that was pretty interesting. We got a lot of turns. Okay, I'm gonna slightly tweak my lineup a little bit so that we have a little bit more control, and perhaps this would make things a little bit better, but again, we're up against the height, right? So that is a problem. Oh my god, I just realized that he has 4 Espers on immunity. Insane. Nice, look at that. We have instant turn, dude. Wow. But that did not amount to anything, right? Yeah, not at all. So I do feel like it's quite important for Donar to have a little bit more speed, because in instances like this where he does not have a conductor, he needs his turn urgently. So unless you're going to have a lot of Espers that push AP, but for me it's just Clara. But if you have more Espers that push AP, then I think he don't need all that speed. But with the speed, he would be able to get his turn around and get his conductor a little bit sooner as well. Okay, not bad. Decent damage. Nice, we steal the turn again and we land a nuke. Very nice. So whenever after we use our third skill, and if the enemy's Gabrielle just use one of her skills that hits us, that's it, we gain a new turn, right? Instant turn. Nice, and we get our conductor again. Very nice, and we have our immunity as well. So they are not going to stun us. Okay, so the thing is, right, when he attacked and he got counter-attacked by the Elliot, right, that did not add on to his stacks. So here's maybe my fresh opinion about Donar in Pointwall after his changes in his resonances. He might not be exactly that good in like the current landscape where height is just so overpowered right now. Yeah, there is no way, right? There is no way that he is going to be sufficient DPS against height. There is no way. So I think in terms of Donar R6, it's probably not really that worth it in my opinion. I mean, unless he becomes so game-breaking, so game-changing that, wow, you definitely have to get an R6 Donar ASAP, or maybe even at least an R2 Donar. Then maybe we can discuss further, but from what I'm seeing right now, I don't feel like he carries a lot of weight, especially since he has all the stat advantages from having his resonances and all of that. And he has full skill ups as well, right? So like, as you can see here, okay, apart from his first skill, everything else is fully skilled up. So this is like his optimum look right now. So I still do think that he is currently off meta. I don't think adding him in the tournament shop actually helped him in any way at all. I don't feel like he is going to be that useful, and especially if you're a new player thinking that, oh, he's going to be an easy way for me to get my first R6 Esper. That is also not true, because you need to farm Pointwall like crazy to get like, I don't know, 70,000 Pointwall currency just to fully reso him. That is insane. There is too much effort required right now. So I think where Donar stands right now is just get one copy of him just to unlock him in your album, and that's about it. I personally don't feel like it's really worth all that currency just to get an R6 copy of Donar. But anyway, that's just my opinion on this case. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions down in the comment section below. How are you using him? What teams are you using him that works? How are you using him to deal with the height in Pointwall? Because height is just everywhere right now. So with that said, hope you guys enjoyed today's content. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now with that said, this has been Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video.